Let's talk about AI in education. It's moving so fast, it honestly feels a bit like the Wild West right now. You've got this incredible gold rush for AI skills, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of chaos and confusion on the ground. So let's try to make some sense of it all and break down what's really going on.
And we need to get into this, like, right now. The Federal Trade Commission just opened up an inquiry into these AI companion apps. Why? Because a survey found that a staggering 72% of teenagers have already used one. This tells you we're way past just using AI for homework. This is about student well-being, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to unpack.
So, first, let's look at the big picture. There is this huge, absolutely undeniable demand for AI skills. Seriously, calling it a gold rush is not an exaggeration. Students, teachers, entire universities, everyone is scrambling to get a piece of the action.
I mean, how big is this demand? Get this, the University of North Florida put out a free, pretty simple 8-week online certificate in AI, and over 11,000 people signed up. This isn't some niche tech nerd thing anymore. This is mainstream.
And you're seeing institutions all over the country respond to this. Purdue, they're training up their faculty. North Carolina Central University, one of the first HBCUs to do this, is now mandating AI training for every single freshman. Boise State is launching an entire undergraduate degree in generative AI. And maybe the biggest sign of all, for the first time in history, state education tech leaders say AI is their #1 priority. It's even above cybersecurity now. The whole system is going all in.
Okay, so that's the view from 30,000 feet. But what does it actually look like on the ground? How are students and teachers really using these tools day to day? Well, as you can probably guess, it's a much messier picture.
There was this major report from the University of Southern California that found this really stark difference. See, the vast majority of students are using AI for what they call executive help, basically getting quick, easy, low-effort answers. The other side, instrumental help, where you use it to really dig in and support deep learning, yeah, that's a far, far less common thing.
But here's what's so important about this. The report makes it clear this isn't just students being lazy or trying to cheat. They call it a rational response to the way we grade things. Think about it. Our education system often rewards the perfect final essay way more than it rewards the messy, hard, actual learning process. So in a way, the students are just playing the game by the rules we set up.
And this gap gets even crazier when you look at K-12 schools. A new RAND survey shows that over half of students and teachers are already using AI. But only about a third of their school districts have any official guidance on how to use it. That huge space between adoption and policy, that's where all the risk and confusion is living right now.
So all of this leads to what you could only describe as an institutional scramble. There's no clear playbook, right? So universities are just trying, well, everything. And it's leading to these fragmented and, frankly, often contradictory strategies.
Just look at the contrast here. On one end, you have Syracuse University. They're going all in, giving every single student and faculty member access to a powerful AI model. Then you've got UNC Chapel Hill, which still doesn't have a campus-wide policy. They're just letting faculty figure it out for themselves. And then there's Cornell, which is somehow doing both at the same time. They're embracing AI in some classes, but then going back to old-school pen and paper exams in others. There is absolutely no consensus.
And while all this is happening, you've got administrators being warned that the marketplace is just flooded with AI products. The advice they're getting at conferences is pretty clear. Pump the brakes. Figure out what problem you are actually trying to solve before you go buy some shiny new tool. And you better be extremely careful about privacy and ethics.
So because of all this chaos, the global conversation is really starting to shift. It's moving away from just, hey, let's teach students how to use the tools, and it's moving towards something much, much more fundamental.
In this quote, it just perfectly captures that shift. It came from a summit with leaders from 35 different countries. They said the most urgent task is not teaching students to use AI, but preparing them for a world where fluent nonsense is everywhere. Fluent nonsense. It's this idea that AI can generate stuff that sounds plausible, confident, and is completely wrong. And it can do it on any topic at any time.
This whole situation is forcing us to redefine what AI literacy even means. It's not just a tech skill anymore. It's a core survival skill for being a citizen in the modern world. It's about being skeptical, knowing how to verify things, and understanding that AI is a fantastic tool for asking questions, but a terrible source for definitive answers. So, all of this, the gold rush, the messy reality on the ground, this new philosophical debate,
it all leaves us staring at some really big, really important questions about the very future of learning.
And here's the central conflict. On one side, you've got the productivity dividend. The data shows AI can save teachers almost 6 hours of work every week. That is huge. But on the other side, there's the cognitive cost. Are we letting students outsource the hard mental work, the struggle, that is actually essential for building real lasting knowledge?
And hanging over all of this, of course, is the question of equity. Schools with a lot of resources, like Syracuse, can afford to give everyone premium access. But at the same time, many rural schools and HBCUs are still fighting just for basic internet. So is AI going to be a great equalizer, or is it just going to make the digital divide even wider?
Which brings us to some tough policy questions. I mean, when you see a school like North Carolina Central making AI training mandatory for every single freshman, you have to ask yourself, is it time? Should this become a standard requirement for every student, just like English or math?
Okay, but if we do that, how do we protect them? We already know that 70% of academic leaders are worried that AI could actually devalue their degrees. We know the FTC is literally investigating the impact on student well-being. Have we really thought through all the risks that come with rolling this out campus-wide?
In the end, I think this is the question that's at the heart of everything. The big promise of AI is that it will handle all the boring, tedious stuff, right? It'll free us up for creativity, for big-picture strategy, for deep, critical thought. But what if that tedious stuff, the research, the messy first draft, what if that's actually the mental workout you need to develop those higher-order skills in the first place? That's the debate that's going to define the next decade of education.